Everyone thinks they know why people act the way they do. But the truth is, the mind plays by hidden rules. 1. Desire begins as a physical echo before conscious thought arrives. The body registers subtle shifts when someone enters your space. Attraction operates in silent margins of pure awareness. It moves you toward connection without warning. 2. The brain craves uncertainty significantly more than guaranteed rewards. Research shows unpredictable attention triggers deeper dopamine responses easily. This explains why intermittent affection feels intensely magnetic. The mind always treats mystery as a puzzle. 3. Mirroring represents biological alignment rather than deliberate imitation. Shared interest gradually synchronizes gestures and natural speech rhythms. This quiet choreography creates profound familiarity between strangers. Comfort arrives through unconscious mimicry alone. 4. Pupils dilate noticeably when emotional interest spikes unexpectedly. The nervous system widens the gaze in response to arousal. This biological signal reveals hidden hunger accurately. You cannot ever fake that quiet expansion. 5. Memory rewrites itself around emotional peaks instead of daily routine. We recall moments that spiked the nervous system heavily. A fleeting glance outweighs years of ordinary interaction. The brain curates longing through selective recall. 6. Pheromones operate beneath awareness to guide relational preferences naturally. Chemical signals land on receptors that bypass rational evaluation entirely. These invisible cues shape deep compatibility preferences. The body knows before the mind agrees. 7. Shared vulnerability accelerates intimacy significantly faster than shared success. Exchanging guarded stories signals reciprocal trust to the brain quickly. The nervous system lowers defenses only under mutual exposure. Closeness grows through quiet transparency. 8. The psychological loop ensures unfinished emotional business persists endlessly. Unresolved conversations replay in the subconscious long after silence sets in. This tension is never actual weakness. It is simply the mind demanding completion. 9. Female desire often processes attraction through emotional safety first. Trust must establish across multiple dimensions before genuine interest surfaces. The mind evaluates consistency and quiet patience carefully. Depth always precedes distance here. 10. Anticipation generates stronger reward internally than the actual encounter. Planning reunions activates pleasure centers with remarkable biological intensity. The mind prefers forward projection over present reality. Fulfillment diminishes quickly after the chase. 11. Brief physical contact lowers stress hormones and signals cooperation instantly. Touch rewires social trust through quiet chemical shifts rapidly. The skin communicates safety and frequencies. Logic ignores completely. Proximity changes relational chemistry entirely. 12. Familiarity breeds comfort through repeated cognitive exposure naturally. Consistent sight lowers psychological resistance to someone's presence gradually. The brain prefers recognized, non-threatening patterns reliably. Visibility plants seeds that time eventually blooms. 13. Extended eye contact creates mild cognitive dissonance between wandering minds. The brain struggles between pulling away and leaning closer. That friction generates emotional electricity between two people instantly. Gaze becomes quiet invitation. 14. The mind confuses physiological arousal with romantic interest easily. Excitement from unrelated sources bleeds into perceived attraction naturally. Adrenaline mimics infatuation symptoms almost perfectly. Passion rides heavily on borrowed energy. 15. female attraction responds to emotional intelligence over overt displays. Reading subtle social cues signals long-term relational competence reliably. Patience translates into genuine interest far faster than pursuit. Depth registers before intensity. I have to pause here because there's a point in every one of these videos where I hit a wall, where the fact I actually want to talk about, the one that explains everything we just covered on a completely different level, I can't say it here, not because it isn't real, because of where we are, the full picture of how the human mind actually works, how people influence each other without a single word, how your own thoughts are being shaped in ways you've never noticed. That's sitting in the pinned comment below this video. I put it there because I couldn't put it here. Check it before we continue. 16. Scent anchors permanently to early romantic experiences without warning. Fragrance encodes alongside memory pathways that never truly fade. A familiar aroma resurrects complete emotional states instantly. The past lingers quietly within the body. 17. Laughter signals genetic compatibility and emotional resilience simultaneously. Shared humor reveals cognitive alignment between separate minds directly. Joy acts as a biological filter for lasting connection. Levity proves deeper compatibility effortlessly. 18. The brain treats emotional rejection identically to physical pain. Heartbreak activates injury responses that demand immediate withdrawal. We process attachment fractures through gradual internal repair. Time provides structural healing naturally. 19. Desire intensifies when clear boundaries remain consistently respected. Respectful distance prevents emotional suffocation while preserving individual identity. Autonomy sustains interest far longer than forced closeness ever does. Space keeps attraction breathing. 20. Microexpressions reveal genuine emotion before deliberate speech begins. The face leaks longing within fractions of a second. Conscious control fails to mask involuntary signals completely. The eyes confess truth first. 21. We project unmet emotional needs onto unfamiliar strangers often. Desire functions as psychological rescue rather than factual recognition entirely. Attraction fills empty internal rooms remarkably fast. Longing dresses strangers in borrowed meaning. 22. Female psychology maps attraction through narrative coherence first. Stories matter significantly more than isolated compliments or gestures. Consistent communication builds blueprints for sustained romantic interest. Continuity proves quiet devotion accurately. 23. Personalized attention triggers stronger dopamine than generic praise ever does. Specific recognition demands deeper neural satisfaction and genuine visibility. We crave feeling uniquely known across crowded spaces constantly. Depth outweighs emotional volume entirely. 24. Physical proximity reduces stress hormones in familiar partners rapidly. Shared presence recalibrates the nervous system toward quiet regulation instantly. Comfort arrives without conversation through simple spatial alignment. Stillness carries deep medicine. 25. The nervous system cannot distinguish fear from desire physically. Both states elevate heart rate and sharpen sensory focus instantly. We sometimes mistake nervous energy for genuine romantic spark mistakenly. Excitement disguises itself easily. 26. Female attraction responds heavily to active conversational listening consistently. Women measure relational investment through regular verbal follow-through reliably. Remembering minor details proves deep mental prioritization accurately. Memory becomes quiet romance. 27. Comfortable silence builds intimacy significantly faster than constant dialogue. Quiet coexistence signals mutual nervous system regulation completely now. Absence of performance pressure reveals profound underlying trust clearly. Peace proves genuine presence. 28. The brain trusts gradual warmth far more than sudden passion. Slow emotional escalation allows deeper neural integration and safety naturally. Patient pacing builds structural stability for lasting bonds reliably. Gradual depth outlasts fire. 29. Visible effort triggers stronger attraction than effortless natural charm entirely. Investment signals long-term commitment directly to the subconscious mind. People value scarcity because it implies genuine prioritization accurately. Labor quietly communicates devotion. 30. Emotional memories store in sensory layers that activate suddenly. A specific vocal cadence resurfaces complete past states instantly. Sound bypasses logic and speaks to deeper regions directly. Voices become quiet time machines. 31. Female attraction ignites through intellectual stimulation before physical interest ever. Mental engagement constructs foundation for lasting romantic curiosity reliably. Thought sparks emotion long before proximity enters the equation. Dialogue precedes physical distance. 32. Tone carries more relational weight than vocabulary selection ever does. Vocal pitch speaks directly to primitive emotional centers instantly. Calm delivery signals safety, regardless of logical wording accuracy. Delivery dictates emotional reception. 33. Predictability eventually starves attraction of required novelty completely. Routine eliminates cognitive stimulation necessary for sustained longing consistently. Long-term bonds require fresh emotional input to remain vibrant always. Stability needs contrast to survive. 34. Emotional resilience under pressure reveals true relational competence clearly. Graceful navigation of conflict builds profound lasting attraction naturally. Women evaluate recovery patterns as long-term compatibility predictors accurately. Strength wears quiet clothing. 35. Mutual confession creates invisible architecture between conscious minds rapidly. Transparency demands acknowledgement that deepens reciprocal responsibility entirely. The subconscious registers openness as profound relational obligation clearly. Truth constructs belonging naturally. 36. Minor attentive habits signal stronger devotion than extravagant gestures daily. Small consistent kindness demonstrates integrated emotional care accurately. Consistency outperforms sporadic surprise in building lasting trust forever. Detail proves sustained priority. 37. Female evaluation tracks social behavior across shifting contexts carefully. Observational attention measures authenticity through indirect situations reliably always. Women gauge alignment by watching stress responses publicly consistently. Context exposes character fully. 38. Prolonged emotional investment transforms shared history into perceived destiny naturally. We mistake narrative momentum for predetermined fate easily. Time writes itself into emotional inevitability gradually. Habit quietly masquerades as deep meaning. 39. Independence prevents emotional enmeshment that suffocates lasting desire completely. Separate thriving lives keep mutual attraction remarkably vibrant daily. People prefer partners who choose them freely each day consistently. Distance preserves emotional appetite. 40. Gentle recurring contact builds safety pathways far better than force. Soft proximity rewires trust without overwhelming defensive thresholds easily. Light affection communicates patience more effectively than intensity naturally. Gentleness proves quiet commitment. 41. Female attraction deepens through reliability regarding minor promises consistently. Keeping small commitments signals profound respect for emotional trust entirely. Broken details fracture perceived reliability faster than major failures. Consistency validates romantic depth. 42. Shared silent gaze establishes emotional union between wandering minds quickly. Visual connection bypasses cognitive filtering mechanisms entirely. Prolonged visibility synchronizes subconscious states between separate consciousnesses. Quiet stillness merges awareness completely. 43. Mutual reciprocity sustains desire while unilateral pursuit rapidly kills it completely. Balanced investment prevents destructive power dynamics entirely now. People withdraw naturally from asymmetrical emotional exchange quickly. Equality preserves lasting magnetic pull. 44. Early emotional restraint reads as profound respect to observers consistently, giving space signals confidence in future compatibility directly. Healthy boundaries protect autonomy while cultivating sustainable interest. Patience naturally draws attention inward. 45. Lasting attraction requires continuous daily renewal rather than passive history. Active curiosity sustains bonds across shifting life seasons completely. People must actively choose each other through changing weather. Love becomes deliberate devotion,